Greetings, punks, goths, metalheads, herberts, herbetters, Martians and subterranean folk. How you all doing? My name's John and this is the Health Anarchist channel. Well, today I'm going to talk about being a goth parent and what it's like being an alternative parent. And when I say alternative, I mean punks, goths, metalheads, that kind of people. I'm going to talk about this today from my perspective of being a goth parent. Now, my daughter's grown up now, she's 30 years old, and I brought her up all through her childhood to where she is now. So I'm going to talk about it from my point of view. What are alternative parents like? Well, basically they're just like any other kind of parent, really. I mean, for me, I didn't have a great childhood. Especially as a teenager, it was pretty bad, to be honest. So as a parent myself, I wanted to be the best parent I could to my child, and I tried very hard. And I didn't want my child to go through any of the hardships and pain that I went through. So I tried to be better. And that's not just me, there's quite a lot of alternative people, and not just alternative people, who had difficult childhoods and they want better for their children. And, they try very hard to do that. So I didn't have a great deal of money when my daughter was small, but it didn't affect the parenting or my daughter's childhood in any way. I can remember me being an outdoors person. It was great as a parent. As soon as my daughter could walk, I can remember taking her on a first big adventure up to Glossop in Derbyshire at about 2.5 years old. I mean, we could take the little buggy some of the way, but rough terrain, when you're outdoors walking, it's not always great for buggies. So the buggy could be carried, and I carried my daughter some of the way. And, she walked a fair little bit at 2.5 herself. And it was a great day because we was out in nature. She was seeing something totally different because we lived in an inner city area at the time that was a bit run down. So we got the bus out to Glossop in Derbyshire. It was a summer, it's a lovely day, all this beautiful countryside. It was a totally different experience, an adventure for my daughter. And I can remember we were right up in the hills and was looking at little mountain streams, and there were mountain toads or frogs. It was quite a long time ago. I think there were probably frogs in the streams, and my daughter was looking at those and she thought it was great. And we actually found a common lizard that was like basking in the sun. And it's only a little tiny baby one, but again, that was great, a thing to do with your child, exploring nature. It's fantastic. And, there were sheep coming up to us and stuff. So for a child, it was all a great experience, and it was great as a parent being able to bring your child on that kind of adventure. And throughout my daughter's childhood, I always used to take her out on little walks and adventures, and would always be looking for wildlife, like, if we could see any squirrels or rabbits. I can remember going to the park. I had one of those little child seats on the back of my bicycle, and I'd take my daughter to the park and would feed the squirrels. It's only little things, but they're all great things for a child. And feeding the ducks on the park, and it's all about memories and creating memories of you and your child together. Because I can tell you, the most valuable thing to a child is their parents' time. Your time is the most valuable thing that you can give your child. And I'd always take my daughter out when she was little, and we'd go on little wildlife adventures. We'd be, looking in streams for little fish, frogs, newts, all that kind of things, and all the creepy crawlies that you get. And, it's just great, positive times to be spending with your child. I can also remember we used to go on little history adventures. I can remember at one point we lived along the banks of a river and used to get all these old Victorian smoking pipe bowls that were made of clay washed up, and they had different designs on them. And there's all these old Victorian 100-year-old bottle tops with different manufacturers' makes, and some of them were like pop bottles, some of them were beer bottles, and we used to collect those and wash them and look at them. So these are all interesting things you can do with your child, and they don't cost you anything really except for your time. And as I said, time's the most important thing you can give your child. And I didn't have a great deal of money at the time, so other things that you could do, you know, as a parent, what I did is we'd go to big car boot sales, and my daughter was into My Little Ponies at the time. And I can remember just giving her maybe £2 or £3 and saying, you know, go round. She used to come round with us. If you see any ponies, you can pick them and buy them. So that was an activity. Give my daughter a couple of pounds and she'd be looking for all these stalls and stuff for My Little Ponies, and she could pick them up for like 60p or, you know, 80p. And she had a really good collection of vintage My Little Ponies. She didn't know they were vintage, they were just My Little Ponies at the time. So, you know, so that was another activity that we enjoyed. So an important one is don't push your music styles onto your child. Let your child like what music they want. They're a child, they're a kid, you know, let them like whatever bands they want. And, you know, don't criticise it. I can remember my daughter was into some truly dreadful pop bands that I thought were dreadful anyway, like Atomic Kitten at the time. Now, my daughter liked that, so I didn't criticise it. You know, I supported her to listen to them. I can remember my daughter's mum once saying Atomic Kitten are doing a band signing in town when my daughter was little. Would you take her? So I said, all right. So I went along. I wasn't enthusiastic about it, but, you know, I took my child, and she got this autograph of Atomic Kitten on a CD. And afterwards the band said to me, do you want anything signed? I said, no. I remember that. But yeah, so let your children like what they like, because what can happen is if you push, like, say, punk or metal onto your child, when they get to a teenager, they may well rebel against it and start listening to the opposite of that, which is like pop music or something like that, which you don't like. So, you know, it's not a good thing to push. As it happened, when my daughter got older, she got into similar stuff to me. My daughter's into like American pop punk and metal, bands like Ghost, bit different from me, but they're my daughter's own choice, which she liked. You know, I never pushed anything onto her. Let your child, you know, discover music for themselves. So we brought my daughter up vegetarian because we don't eat meat, so we're not going to specially bring meat into the house just for my daughter. So we give my daughter what we eat, which is vegetarian stuff. And I said to my daughter, when you get to 16 years old, you can choose whether you want to stay vegetarian or eat meat or whatever. But when my daughter did turn 16, she chose to become vegan. So I thought, you know, I'll support her doing this. And I said, you know what? I said, I'd like to go vegan myself too. I've been thinking about it for years, and that was a little push that I needed. And yeah, I was really pleased with my daughter for that. But she was always brought up to love and respect wildlife and animals. So, you know, that's what we did. I do hear some parents complaining about being a parent, saying, oh, it's terrible, or this or that. And myself, I love it. You know, when my daughter was little, it was some of the best days that I enjoyed. It was it's a gift being a parent. Don't waste it. And you know, my daughter's 30 now, but they'll always be your children. And yeah, maybe I was lucky. Maybe my daughter was really easy to bring up, or maybe, you know, it was just something that suited me. But I definitely think being a parent is a gift. So, you know, don't waste that gift. What I would like to say about being an outdoors person and bringing your children out on walks, especially in the summer, is always bring precautions, bring a little first aid kit, plenty of sunscreen on them in the summer. And we had a little hat for my daughter. It's like one of those little Legionnaire hats which covers the back of the neck from the sun when it's really sunny. I think we had little sunglasses as well. So, you know, and make sure you've got plenty of drinks for your child. Keep them well hydrated. And obviously, you've got to watch, they've only got little legs. So, you know, they can only walk so far. You don't want to be taking them on, you know, massive walks, because it'd be too much for them. But yeah, I mean, it's well worth it. And to give your child those experiences. And for in the winter, just use common sense as well. Make sure they've got weatherproof, warm clothes. Maybe bring a hot drink, a flask of hot chocolate or something. And, you know, just listen to your children. You know, if they're tired, they're tired. If they've gone too far, it's too far. Anyway, I would like to say thank you to all my new subscribers. It really means a lot. Really encourages me to keep doing this channel, so thank you. And for all my subscribers that have been subscribed for a while now, you guys rock. I think a great idea for children is to get them a little bird spotting book with all the different types of birds and see if they can notice any of them when they're out. And also you could get like wildlife books with different wildlife of the area where you live, whether it's UK or somewhere abroad, and let them see if they can notice any of the wildlife whilst they're out. Another great activity you can do with your children while you're outdoors is go fruit picking. You can pick blackberries, make sure they're well away from roads and pollution. You can pick blackberries, and where I am, if you go out into the hills, you can pick bilberries or wimberries, and you can make a wimberry pie or a blackberry pie, or you can just eat them fresh. So there's all sorts of great activities you can do as an alternative parent. And remember, you only have one childhood, so as a parent, try and give them the best childhood they can get. So I hope you didn't mind me doing this different subjective video today. If you did enjoy it, please don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until the next video, don't forget, be different, stay weird, and stay free. Bye now.